Hello, everybody. It's Natasha Helfer Parker. It is time for Sex Talk with Natasha. I'm going to do a webinar tonight on teaching kids about consent. This will actually be the last number in the series of the parenting series. We have come up with 10 different webinars on helping you talk to your kids about sexuality. So this is number 10, and we're going to end on a good note, which is consent. Yes, yes, and yes. This is really important. So the 5 tips that we're going to cover tonight are tip number 1, how to really start early with a culture of consent in your family environment. Tip number 2 that we're going to talk about is how, if you want to have a culture of consent in your family environment, you also need to have an environment that understands pleasure and that is pleasure friendly. So we're talking about how to do that. Tip number 3 will be all about how consent requires good communication skills and what types of consent when you have verbal and other body language stuff that you need to be paying attention to. And tip number 4 is how to talk to kids about the concept that consent is fluid, that it changes on any given day, moment, etc. So we're going to talk about how to teach them about that. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is how to talk to your kids about consent being enthusiastic, meaning that it should never be something that is coerced or manipulated, because that kind of nullifies consent in of itself. So lots of good ideas for talking to your kids. I hope you'll join us. If you'd like to attend the webinar but can't join me tonight, it will be available as a post-webinar recorded kind of product that you can access either by purchasing a one-time purchase. There's my nice doggy, not being consentful about being on the show tonight. Or you can become a Patreon subscriber. The good thing about becoming a subscriber is that you get access not only to tonight's material, but you really get access to all the materials that we've posted all along the way. So for as little as $25 a month, you are accessing all kinds of webinars, which we've done a ton of on libido and erotic desire and parenting and how to be a good lover and how to be romantic and why those things are important, and even pretty specific things like, am I interested in anal sex and want to find out a little bit more about how to do that, or non-monogamy. I mean, there's just kind of all kinds of things that we've done webinars on, as well as lots of Q&As that we've done that we've also recorded, where you, our guests, have come on and asked some excellent questions. And those are all available when you are a subscriber. So the much better deal is to become a subscriber, but sometimes, people only want one certain thing, and by all means go and look at the library and see if there's something that piques your interest or that you think would be helpful to you. Sex Talk with Natasha in general is a program that we've developed for comprehensive sexual education for adults. I'm a big believer that we all come with some level of sexual woundedness, just because most of us grew up in cultures, families, countries, governments, systems that gave us a lot of misinformation, gave us a lot of narratives and scripts and stories about sexuality that were not always very helpful. And then we've grown up and tried to have, positive sexual experiences, and it hasn't always gone the way we had hoped. So I'm here to hopefully, provide resources, ideas, suggestions, information. I'm a certified sex therapist. I'm also a licensed clinical marriage and family therapist. I've been doing this work for almost 25 years now at some level or another. So I have a lot of passion and information I'd like to share with you. So I hope that you all have a great night to sexual fulfillment and, central happiness. Take care, everybody. Good night.